Connector, and welcome to another edition of Connector Live TV, The Influencers, where we spotlight the voices shaping culture, community, and consciousness. Tonight, we are honored to sit down with a woman whose artistry is rooted in truth and her activism is rooted in love, Miss Nina Fletcher. From her days with Arpeggio Jazz Ensemble to a critically acclaimed solo debut CD, Courage, Nina has used music as a mirror, a megaphone, and a movement. But she's also a fierce advocate for black women's rights. And she's the founder and visionary for Colors of Sound, LLC. So, welcome, Nina.
Wow. You make me sound so wow.
You are. If you're on this show, that means you're a very exceptional individual.
Mr. Michael Rice, you're an exceptional person, so I thank you for having me.
Thank you. Okay, well, we're going to jump right in this. Let's talk about your musical journey.
Oh,
Let's start with Courage.
sure.
You produced and composed 12 of the 14 tracks. What personal truth did you have to confront or to release to bring this project to life?
That's right. I produced all of them except for one. And I think it was more the fact that I was seeing the changes in artistry, in particular the way black women were perceived. And at the time, my daughter was very young, and I knew that she was musically astute. And I said, you know what? I'm not digging this. I'm really not digging the fact, that cosmetic surgery came to play such a huge part in the identity of black women. And for years and years and years, we have fought wars with our hair textures. And music was one of our sanctuaries, one of our strongholds at one point. So me coming out of, say, the 1990s, where you had like the neo soul and you had like a plethora of black complexions and, black hair, natural hair of all textures was in. And then for me to see this coming about, I said, you know what? I had been in music for some time doing vocal arrangements and playing keys because I'm a pianist. That's my mode of writing. I said, I think it's time that I sort of get out there and do something for young black women and for young children coming up.
Okay.
My time with Arpeggio Jazz Ensemble was excellent too with that because as you can remember, Warren Ory is or was an extremely Afrocentric type jazz composer and performer. So I'm grateful to have that experience.
How did that experience with them shape your musical identity?
Oh my goodness. Okay. So I had just had my daughter, and she was probably about 8 months old, and I went to a sit-in at the Ogon's Grill with a girlfriend of mine. And she said, well, if you want to sign in, you got to go up there, sign in, and, to sit in. I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool, whatever. So I went up there. And I sat in, I believe the song that I did was In a Sentimental Mood, right? And in true Warren Ory style, he picked it up on me. It was like, So it wasn't the smooth, mellow thing that I was used to. It was picked up, and Afrocentricized, And I was digging it, fell right in and everything. And, afterwards, he gave me his card and he said, hey, look, if you ever want to do some vocal work, you give me a call. Although your voice needs some work. He says, truth is, I liked your approach. I like how you caught on, but your voice is thin and lifeless. I couldn't believe he said it. I said, okay.
Yeah,
So,
you're like 5 octaves.
but guess what? See, that's how you start. but when you're around robust, experienced musicians who encourage you along, you just simply get better. So as time went on, he was like, you know what? I dig you because not only do you sound different, but you write. So far, everything you've done for me is something you've written. You're a songwriter. And I said, yes, my whole family has been. So that was my brilliant introduction to arpeggio jazz ensemble. It was quite humble,
Okay, yeah, that
but I
sounds
can
humbling,
honestly
yeah.
say I grew as a vocalist. And also even some of my approaches to the music with
So
working with
how would you describe
arpeggio.
the music? Because I get jazz, I see the storytelling, I feel the soul. But how? Tell me how you define your music.
Oh man, I'm definitely progressive jazz. Even before I had met Warren Ory and the Arpeggio Jazz Ensemble, my grandfather did jazz music. My mother was a jazz vocalist. My father was a jazz drummer, but he played Afro Caribbean rhythms. He played all types of rhythms. My uncle Chucky opened for quite a few of your Philadelphia groups. One of them, I believe, being Blue Magic and
Oh, really?
the Entourage. Yeah. So
You
he
got
did
Uncle Chucky
soul
too.
music. So I mean, he did soul music. So
Mhm.
coming up, you had to uh, musically support
Mhm.
everyone who did each type of different, I would say, black musics is what I call them.
Okay.
So whether it was, soul, bebop, straight ahead, even classical, you know, R&B, um, you had to know how to support that particular family member. And if the lyrics were not what your elders approved of, because
Okay.
we were raised devout, um, we rewrote the lyrics. So there really wasn't too much that we didn't play.
Okay.
But there were a lot of lyrics
Yeah,
we
because
rewrote.
at one point jazz was considered the devil's music, right?
You know, see, you're speaking with someone who has a very different outlook on life. I'm
Okay.
sure the world says, "Hey, look, that's that devil's music." Michael, I believe all music is God's. All, ALL, all music is God's. Um, but it depends on what you do with it. What are you doing? What is the message that you're infusing? What is your intent? Right?
Okay.
I
Intent.
mean, yeah, what's your intent? That's something I started to notice, and I don't know whether I'm going to get in trouble for saying this or not, but in a particular genre of music, in particular, I mean, it happens in all, but it bothered me for this one genre,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where I started to notice all of the messages that were given to non-black listeners, right? Where I am a believer. I am invincible. With God on my side, I can do anything, right? Everything was positive and you're above the hill. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. And then when it came to black listening audiences, right? It was you're a sinner. You need to repent or your salvation is heaven
Mm.
after you die.
Okay.
And I said, this is some kind of way to sort of program people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for black women in particular, I'm sinful until I die, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then I get my reward after I'm dead.
Right.
But my counterparts in their music, it's totally different.
Mm.
It's, I have salvation. I can do anything. I can change my current circumstances. So I said, you know what? I think it's time for a couple of different styles of writings and
Mm-hmm.
approaches to music. And being as I have experience in writing in most of the major types of music, right? Um, I said, let me give it a roar. I'm putting
So
courage out.
where does it come from? It comes from your memory. It comes from your imagination.
So
Or are you looking at some vision of something? what is your, where is the origin at?
It comes from, and I keep telling people, it comes from lived experiences and unique perspectives, especially when it comes to like the lyrics and stuff like that. The music itself comes from a very, very strong lineage of musicians.
Mm-hmm.
My great grandfather played 11 instruments.
11 instruments.
11, and there's a reason for that, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
think I explained
Yeah,
it one
yeah,
time before, but
yeah. Explain to
I'll
our
explain it
audience.
again. So basically, what happened was, way back when you have your great grandfather, that's like depression age, right? You weren't eating too much, but all the politicians wanted you to vote for them, right? So what would end up happening is, okay, I need a gig, right? So I would, as my grandfather, would show up to the gig with, say, a saxophone.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, ah, no, we looking for somebody who can play these drums or can do that trumpet. You hold it. I'll be right back. My family needs this money,
Mm-hmm.
right? Let me go get that trumpet. Let me go get them drumsticks. And I'm going to sit here and I'm auditioning for what you now need, you know.
Mm, okay.
So his idea of diversifying in the market was to absolutely learn more than one instrument
Okay.
so that he wouldn't lose a gig.
Okay.
He had like 9, 10 kids. That, a gig lost is a mouth not fed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, that, and of course gardening and stuff like that, because agriculture also came heavy through my family. But yeah, so through that, generations, how come you only know one instrument? How come you know only four? You
Right.
know?
Right. Wow. Wow.
So that was, yeah.
Well, tell me this, because I see that Courage got 5 stars from the Daily News. So tell me, how did you balance that? I guess it must have. I know with myself, I would be just full of myself after that. And
Listen,
the I guess the external recognition or validation, and then the internal piece where, yeah, because it's is it like when you come out with your first CD? Isn't it like the graduation to say the validation that you're really on your way?
for me, believe it or not, it was sort of like a universal thank you.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many artists who, for their first album, go completely unsung. They don't even get a newspaper article
Right.
to acknowledge them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, the fact that I actually combined my artistry with community stewardship. I was going into the schools. I was talking to them about music and, other subjects. I was going into the women's shelters. I was even doing some block parties. I did some really cool block parties at West Oak Lane,
Mm-hmm.
Missioner Avenue. And, I think that it was sort of like an acknowledgement that said, thank you for your artistry and sharing that unique sense or that unique suffering of Black with us,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's akin. And, thank you for combining it with community stewardship, because that's sort of like what that meant to me. And I was thankful to the Most High God for that.
So let's talk a little bit about that. Let's talk about your advocacy,
Mhm.
Black women rights. Tell us about that. What prompted you, among the many things I know that prompt you, to go into and you founded an organization based upon that, or how does that work?
I did. So when I first started working with Colors of Sound, or thought of Colors of Sound, I said it's going to be project based. And I wanted a series of projects covering different areas that would assist uh, Black women in the position in society they found themselves in. I started to figure out that whatever class you were in, class, right? Uh, we all had things that were the same,
Mm-hmm.
right? Very similar. But then in certain areas, right? And it still holds true today, even about 10, 15 years later. We get a lot of encouragement and we're told, oh, have faith,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. Yes, the encouragement and the faith is important, but what is it that most other groups have that Black women struggle for and struggle with? And that is strategy
Mm-hmm.
and structure. Because you can sort of make it happen, like faith handles it all, right?
Mm-hmm.
I will say that. I'm a highly spiritual individual. God is it
Mm-hmm.
for me because I would not be sitting here if not for. Okay. Um, but what was missing with Black women, because of the struggles in this country, was strategy and structure. Those things appeared for others. They had
Mm-hmm.
generational wealth
Okay.
with which they could strategize with. So, since a lot of Black women didn't have that generational wealth for one reason or another, the strategy had to be a little different and a little bit stronger to go along with the message to start making some things work.
Okay.
So I studied way back in 2015 financial behaviors. I studied. Um, it was um, it was sort of like a certified financial counseling, but it's not ACFP,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's a little bit different. That's an investment, stocks and bonds.
Okay.
I don't advise on that.
Okay.
Okay. Um, and nor do I am I here to represent anybody that I may work with
Okay.
to advise.
Okay.
I won't be advising today. But what I will say is that back then in 2015, I found it important for women to understand the psychology and the way money moved through their experience.
Okay.
And so while I'm promoting the album, I'm also promoting women's workshops to help them better understand their budgeting, their psychology, their money, and the fact that their health is their wealth and their emotional soundness is their bank.
That brings me to the next question that I have here. And that has to do with what one myth about Black womanhood that you have determined to dismantle?
What one
And how does
myth?
it how does your art help that?
Uh, how about the whole, I'm not, the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
You
You
saying
know,
there's one big myth about Black women?
listen, I think, it, yeah, the whole persona, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that there are a lot of Black women who are proud of the way that they look. They're proud of their hair. They're proud of their skin. They're proud of the way that they present themselves, right? Um, it's the reception. So I was raised to say it's never because you're Black,
Mm-hmm.
it's because they are who they are. It is their mentality.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, I never really internalized the things that would make me sort of like shrink back and not
Okay.
do this, not do that. So yeah, from the floor up, I would change a lot of things. It's never because you were created the way that you were. So I
When
don't
did it
even
first
use the
occur to
term
you that
it's
there's
because I'm Black. I don't use that term.
mm-hmm.
It's because you're ignorant.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's true. That's
I'm
true.
here to apparently to educate you because I'm just fine.
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm here to, what is it, on the seventh day rest, but on the sixth day everything was good.
I have a question. What happened on the 8th day? What we doing now, right?
But yeah, I would say the whole persona, it needs, it needs an overhaul.
Mhm.
Even the spirituality, to a degree, some of it needs an overhaul.
Tell me something about Colors of Sound LLC.
Mm. Colors of Sound LLC came about because there were others who did not have the courage to promote me. There is a
Maybe they took
huge
courage to
pressure.
promote you.
Yeah, because you, when you're dealing with companies and even some of our own Black companies who want to remain marketable, because people's homes, people's, their car payments, they all depends on being able to market to the masses,
Right.
right? But if you have someone who's unapologetic, unwilling to straighten their hair,
Mm-hmm.
right, and does not, I guess, triple kowtow to traditional beliefs about jazz music or any music in particular, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and seeks to look at things with a particular type of unique ingenuity, it takes a very unique type of company to want to promote that without actually changing it. So, Colors of Sound
Mm-hmm.
literally does exist um, for housing that unique expression, right?
Mm-hmm.
And supporting those that find themselves in the position in society that I do,
Okay.
or who choose to want to define that
Mm-hmm.
position in society. It depends on how you look at it. I answer your question?
Yeah, you answered it.
Okay.
You
So
answered it. You answered
that's
it.
that was Colors of Sound.
Now we move on to your other major initiative, that plant dominant dollars. Is that I got it right?
Plant Dominant Dollars.
Plant dominant dollars. Tell us about that.
So Plant Dominant Dollars came about because after I finished touring with Warren Ory and I sort of went on my own, I was a soloist. I worked with Warren for about 5 years. And after 5 years, I went on to be a soloist with Courage and
You
a couple other
outgrew
projects.
them, or they outgrew you, or what happened there?
I think it was a beautiful parting.
Okay.
No, I still talk to Warren. Was just at my daughter's graduation, pictures and everything. So
Okay.
we're still very good friends.
Okay.
I think at the time, from what I remember, they said that they wanted to start going overseas more,
Mm-hmm.
and my daughter was young.
Okay.
And I said, listen, I need to stay domestic,
Mm-hmm.
because by this point, I was head of household, single parent,
Okay.
and my divorce was final. And I said, my daughter needs me here. I'm okay with traveling, but I'm not sure if I'm going to China, Africa, Europe like that.
Mm-hmm.
I have, but not the way they wanted to go at the time. And I said, family
So, in terms of your
first.
travels, tell us, just share with us some of the travels that you did with Arpeggio.
Oh my goodness. We did most of the country, as far as I remember.
Mm-hmm.
I did most of my further traveling when I became a soloist.
Oh, really? Okay.
Uh-huh.
So you saying when you became a soloist, your horizons expanded.
Believe it or not, because it was on my charge whether I wanted to go, when I wanted to go, and it was my terms. So I was able to go further because I wasn't necessarily punching a clock to anyone else.
Okay.
And the material's mine, the licensing is mine, the publishing, everything on the album is mine, right?
Okay.
So, and my time is mine. So
Okay.
I ran it more like a home business. But with Arpeggio, I did, a lot in the United States, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I became a soloist, I started sort of expanding that and going outside of the country a little bit.
Okay, we're gonna switch up right here. I'm going to ask you, let me ask you this.
Mhm.
What mistake did you make early in your career that actually became one of your greatest teachers?
Let's see. What mistake did I make? I underestimated myself.
Okay.
I underestimated myself, and I
Got it.
I'm eternally grateful for all the missteps and the forward moves that I made because it brought me closer to what I know of universal law, spirit law. It brought me closer uh, to my relationship with God, and there go bringing in more blessings. So, my biggest mistake was underestimating myself. Um, and my biggest blessing was undergoing the studies of universal law.
Oh, you know what? We don't have enough time to explore. There's so many dimensions to you. So we're going to have to bring you back and talk more about that, especially the spiritual side. Now, Nina, your voice is a gift, and your mission is a call to action. Thank you for sharing your journey, your courage, and your vision with us tonight.
Listen, anytime, and next time I will get here so that we have more time. I thank you for even having the courage to present jazz music and just being who you are.
Okay. Well, to our viewers, remember, influence is not just about visibility, it's about impact. Yeah. And Nina Fletcher is living proof. So stay connected, stay inspired, and keep building the revolution, one note, one voice, and one act at a time. Welcome to Poetry Corner. This is Michael Rice, and I'm going to be doing a piece from my upcoming poetry book called Inspire to Aspire. This one is called The Magnificent One. And I'm going to tell you something that you always knew but were afraid to speak. The truth is in you. Yes, you are the magnificent one, and you were from the start. Your life is science. Your style is art. That weight you carry, heavy and deep, that burdens that haunt you even in your sleep. You're not just a person walking this earth. You're a living prophecy who has proven your worth. When others got blessings, you got to fight. When they saw comfort, you saw the night. When they received shortcuts, easy and free, you walked the long road to who you're supposed to be. Only the chosen face trials so grand. Only the magnificent can take this stand. Every day, God sends reminders your way. To struggle in hardship is not child's play. The ordinary see truth, where you see what's just. They're just average. They ain't like us. Instead of riches, he gave you grit. Instead of gold, determination that never quit. You had to earn every blessing that you would claim, because what comes easy burns like a flame. You were thrown into the fire, tested with heat. But those who walk flames can't face defeat. You were forged in the furnace, pressure so strong, like diamonds compressed. You were made to belong. The devil thought breaking you would make you fall, but instead you rose up higher, standing tall. He made others soft with riches and ease, but kept you hungry so you would do what you please. You weren't simply formed like others around. You were forged with purpose, battle-tested and sound, like diamonds that shine from pressure and time. Your true self emerges, brilliant and prime. Every rejection was a redirection. Every setback, a setup for a resurrection. Every storm just made you stronger. Prepare for your part to light up the world with your powerful science and art. Through valleys you walked, to no mountains high. Through darkness you crawled, to light up the sky. People are drawn to the energy you bring. They seek out your wisdom, and to you, they want to cling. This isn't a coincidence. This is your sign. Your struggle was prep work, part of the ultimate design. You weren't being punished, you were being made for the magnificent role that will never fade. Now you've chosen to exceed every dream, not just their expectation, but your own supreme. The magnificent, hey, they don't get the easy way. They get what is needed for their destined day. So stand up straight and lift your head high. Embrace what you know. You were born to fly. You're not an accident, not a mistake. You are magnificent and you will never break. Everything you've endured was repairing your soul for the moment you step into your destined role. Your time is now, your moment is here. Your destiny calls, answer without fear. The world has been waiting for you to see the truth of your power and who you were meant to be. Stop apologizing for being so bright and start embracing your magnificent light. You were born for this moment, built for this fight, created for breakthrough and destined for flight. And you will be that person when it's all said and done, because you are the magnificent one. What a powerful conversation. If you're like me, you're walking away with fresh insights, renewed inspiration, and a deep appreciation for the kind of authentic connections that truly move communities forward. But don't let the inspiration stop here. If you're ready to take your networking, leadership, and personal growth to the next level, I've got 2 transformational resources that'll help you do just that. First, Be Magnificent, Exceed Your Expectation. This book is a blueprint for unlocking the greatness within you. No fluff, just real strategies to elevate your mindset and your mission. And then there's Urban Networking, the essential guide for the urban professional. This isn't just a book. This is a movement. It's packed with practical tools, real life examples, and proven techniques to help you build meaningful relationships that open doors and create lasting impact. And you can grab your copies and learn more about my work and even connect with me directly for coaching, speaking engagements, or collaborations. Just head over to www.michaelwrightspeaks.com. That's www.michaelwrightspeaks.com. And whether you're building a brand, leading a team, mentoring youth, or simply trying to grow into your best self, you don't have to do it alone. Let's build together. So, thank you for joining us tonight on the Connector Live TV, The Influencers. And until next time, stay magnificent, stay connected, and keep exceeding your expectations.
Exceed your expectations. Personal elevation.
Making connections with every meeting as they travel through their day. Establishing relationships with every group. Making allies along the way. In the city where life is tough and words can cut like a knife, they are making deals and playing rough, but this is the way of life. They are the people we admire because of their approach and grace. The words ignite you with their fire when they smile in your face. They are the ones with the plan, playing different roles, always taking a stand as they implement their goals. They will change how you think. They will even change your style. They will succeed before you blink, although it's only been a while. They are the ones you've been looking for to make this city a better space. So watch out when they walk through the door. The influencers are in the place. They always know what to say to every business meeting and always seem to get their way, planning their goals and then exceeding. Feel a plan, then plan to fail. They'll tell you with a smile. Think positively and keep it real. Moving with that savoir-faire style. Taking the stage, they engage your mind with their beautiful words of persuasion. You better keep notes and not fall behind. They got plans for every occasion. As they unravel their master plan, you're locked into the deal. No flashy pitch, no sleight of hand. The sweet words of mass appeal. The words are velvet, yet their minds are steel. As they navigate with quiet might, they shift the room. You know the deal. You're stunned by their insight. They sound as hecklers with a glance. No need to raise their voice. Their presence sparks a second chance. You fall in line by choice. It hits you hard, but it won't be loud. Like a whisper wrapped in a sonic boom. They shift the energy in the ground and mastering everyone in the room. They are the architects of every vibe, designing futures with finesse. They speak and suddenly you subscribe to their visions of success. So when they walk into the room, know the moment has been ordained to turn your silence into a tune and relieve your spirit of its pain. They are the pulse, the voice, the flame, the ones who move without a trace, the influencers, true to name, transforming time and space.